50 Cent recently announced that the second installment of his documentary series focused on Sean Diddy Combs, titled The Reckoning, is on the verge of dropping. This new chapter supposedly shifts the spotlight heavily onto Janice Combs, portraying her as the key architect who molded Diddy into the figure he eventually became, while also positioning her as the true influential force steering the direction of bad boy entertainment from behind the scenes. Reports suggest that Netflix declined to incorporate this particular material into the initial season. Undeterred, 50 Cent has decided to take matters into his own hands and share this unreleased content directly with the public through his own channels on YouTube.
Yeah, my mom's good. Well, let me introduce you to my mom, called Ma Dukes.
Hi.
She's getting a drip with me. She's hydrating. What's up, Ma?
Everything's good, baby. I'm here with you.
Yeah.
I love you.
I love you, too.
To understand the full picture, we need to go back to the origins. In the original Netflix documentary, one of Diddy's longtime childhood companions, Tim Patterson, described how Janice Combs' husband, Diddy's father, was involved in the drug trade in Harlem and tragically lost his life when Diddy was still a small child. Following that devastating event, Janice stepped in to assume full authority over the family home and its daily workings. She soon started organizing regular lively gatherings and social events at their residence. These occasions reportedly placed a young Diddy in highly mature, adult-oriented settings from an extremely tender age. Residents in the surrounding community were said to be well aware of the genuine nature and purpose behind these frequent get-togethers.
Diddy mom, she came out defending her son, man. How you feel about that? She made a comment saying that he's not a monster.
I guess this is my newfound career, so I'm going to say what on my mind and what I think, brother. First of all, that's his mother. Wrong, right, or indifferent, she gonna lie, steal, kill, and protect her child. That's what she's supposed to do. But the apple don't fall far from the tree, man. You got to realize that. You know, he didn't get all this from his daddy because he didn't know his daddy, even though they try to say his daddy was some big-time drug dealer in the whole 9 yards. You understand? He didn't get this from his daddy. You got to realize, man, you know, his mother had a modeling agency, and it was alleged that it was also ladies of the night, a prostitution ring too, or these ladies was doing things other than modeling?
From the outset, sources indicate that Janice harbored strong ambitions for celebrity status and significant influence, which is believed to have driven her decision to enter into a relationship with a figure deeply embedded in the narcotics world. Once Diddy's father was gone, she is alleged to have viewed her son as a strategic instrument to fulfill those long-standing aspirations. According to Patterson, the family living room actually featured a makeshift performance platform where children, including Diddy, were encouraged, or even required, to entertain the guests. People would reportedly urge the youngsters with commands like, "Go ahead, show us that dance move." Patterson emphasized that these early experiences left a profound and lasting imprint on Diddy's developing psyche.
So remember when I said Diddy mother might be the originator of the freak-offs?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so tomorrow Peacock is dropping. According to the Rolling Stone, the doc features an alleged childhood friend of Puff's, hip-hop producer Tim Dog Patterson. He alleged that Janice, Diddy's mom, would often throw parties at Diddy's childhood home. He says that during the parties, it wasn't uncommon to walk into rooms where adults was having sex. I mean, that was just their normal. And the doc, when talking about the parties, Tim says, verbatim, "That's what we were privy to. This was what we were fed. Was it desensitized?"
The narrative takes an even darker turn at this point. Multiple accounts assert that Janice went beyond merely introducing Diddy to unsuitable atmospheres. She is accused of actively engaging in grooming behaviors toward him. Several individuals who were close to the family circle, including former associate Gene Deal, expressed deep unease about the dynamic they observed between Diddy and his mother. They recounted instances where Diddy would engage in kisses on the lips with Janice and direct comments toward her that crossed into inappropriate territory, leaving observers feeling profoundly uncomfortable.
This man was talking about that his mother could take her palms and bend over and put them down on the floor. Not bend over, but she could stand straight up and put her palms on the floor, bruh. He's saying that about his mother. Who describes any of their mother action like that in a sexual way? And then, you know, I don't know how many dudes do kiss their mother in their mouth when they 50, 60 years old or something like that. That's them. That's their whole thing, man. But that was a little kind of weird for me. And then his mother wore the same white fingernail polish that Cassie described that he liked to see her and other models in when she was describing her her lawsuit. And what's crazy to me is that, man, it seemed like him and his mother had this, I don't want to get too deep, man, this Oedipus complex thing.
These same sources suggest that patterns Diddy allegedly exhibited later in his adult life mirrored what he had witnessed and experienced during his formative years. Claims circulate that Janice was fully aware of the notorious freak-off events that Diddy supposedly orchestrated in his own circles. Certain individuals who claim to have been present insist that she even attended a number of these gatherings herself. Many interpret this as evidence that Diddy was simply carrying forward the behavioral blueprint he absorbed while growing up under her influence.
But why you believe she knew about the freakos?
Because one of the witnesses said she was there. And do you remember this, bro? Check it out. People tell off on themselves so much, man, and I don't understand when people don't catch it. Diddy has said this. He said, when I give a party, I have to have an ambulance outside of the house. Paramedics ready. That people have to take IVs. Remember the time that him and his mama kissed each other on the lips?
Yeah, I remember that video.
Do you remember that both of them was getting an IV at the same time?
Yeah, I did notice that, yep.
That's from the Diddy freak off party. And I'm going to say allegedly.
So let me ask you this. You knowing her at one point, you knowing her personally, is she the kind of person that, will be a part of a freak off or no?
I think that she liked to party, and she partied with young people. She's always been like that. She always copied or emulated Little Kim and Mary J. Blige. Or they emulated her. The blonde hair, the nails, the high boots, the age-appropriate, inappropriate clothing.
Gene Deal has openly shared his long-held suspicions that the bond between Diddy and his mother involved layers far beyond what most outsiders perceived. After the loss of Diddy's father, Janice is said to have repeatedly reinforced to her son that he was now the primary man of the house. Over the passing years, this dynamic allegedly evolved into something increasingly boundary-crossing, with reports that Janice confided extremely personal and explicit details about her own life to him, and even joined him at various social functions and parties.
A relationship, whether it's physical or mental, with a mother and a son. So I'm looking at his mother and him on the couch, and both of them are getting IVs after one of the Diddy parties. Allegedly. I'm going to say allegedly because I wasn't there and I didn't know. But they showed them both getting IVs on the couch. So my whole thing about this thing is that I'm not saying that she was ever at a freak off. She was ever at that type of party. But you can't tell me Miss Janice Combs, who was always at the regular parties, didn't know nothing about the freak-off parties.
Among the most unsettling accusations to emerge is one tied to supposed testimony related to Cassie. The story alleges that Janice possessed a peculiar, special recipe for preparing macaroni and cheese that incorporated highly disturbing elements. This dish was reportedly served to both Diddy and Cassie on certain occasions. The revelation prompted widespread reactions of horror, with many people describing it as profoundly upsetting and difficult to accept as true.
For the situation where they say he was trying to shape Misa into his mother, can you see that? Like,
Yeah, with the blonde hair and yeah, and all of that. I mean, Somebody
Really?
asked a question, what kind of man puts his hands on his mother? The same kind of man that parties with his mom, the same kind of man who kisses his mom in the mouth, the same kind of man who seems to have accurate knowledge that his elderly mother can put both of her hands, her palms on the floor and while she's standing up, bent over.
Oh, damn, I ain't seen that one. Oh.
You never seen the Instagram video when he was talking about how his mom is still young and spry and how she still liked the party and how they was getting a IV drip
Oh. Damn.
and she was kissing him in the mouth on the video when he was like, yeah, my mom can bend over and touch the floor with her palms.
No.
It's a very, very, very weird relationship. It's weird.
In connection to the federal charges Diddy has faced involving the alleged transportation of people for illicit purposes, Janice's name has repeatedly surfaced in related discussions. Some narratives claim that even during Diddy's younger years, his mother was purportedly overseeing an arrangement that involved adult entertainers or companions. Those who say they were around during that era insist this activity was common knowledge in their circles, with a steady stream of women regularly entering and leaving the household.
So how you feel about, her? I mean, they alleging that she was, having freak-offs.
I spoke to a man, Mr. Brown, who used to go to the freak-offs. And this guy lives in Georgia right now. And he told me that he was a stick-up kid back in the day. And one time he had robbed one of their spots. And he went back and he had got the money and gave them their money back and everything like that. And he knew Miss Combs and he knew about her and her freak-offs and everything like that. We had always thought that she had a modeling agency, but it wasn't a modeling agency. It was more of a brothel that she ran for high-profile drug dealers and athletes. You could tell I could tell that Miss Combs at the time, and actually saw her, like young guys. She came at me a couple of times back in my heyday, before the extra 75 pounds back then. And the reason I left Bad Boy wasn't only because of her advances, it was because I got tired of a lot of the bullshit with her.
As one might anticipate, Janice has vehemently rejected every single one of these accusations, issuing a formal public statement that categorically denies them all. What stands out to many observers is the notable absence of any defamation lawsuits filed by either Janice or Diddy against 50 Cent or the Netflix platform, despite the gravity of the claims. A number of people interpret this lack of aggressive legal pushback as a possible indicator that the allegations hold more substance than the denials suggest.
Janice Combs is speaking out about the Netflix documentary, Sean Combs' The Reckoning. In a statement to Deadline, she said, "These inaccuracies regarding my son Sean's upbringing and family life are intentionally done to mislead viewers and to further harm our reputation." She also maintains she was not an abusive parent and says that Diddy never slapped her, as previously stated in the documentary.
The documentary further explores how Janice is credited with instructing Diddy in the intricacies of operating a successful enterprise. Although Diddy has long been presented as the visible leader and public representative of Bad Boy Entertainment, insiders allege that he does not actually hold ownership of the company's shares or core assets. Instead, those valuable holdings are said to remain registered under his mother's name. According to those with knowledge of the arrangement, this structure was deliberately designed to safeguard financial resources and reduce potential vulnerability to legal claims or lawsuits.
She is Bad Boy. You think it's Diddy. It's Janice Combs. Janice Combs is Bad Boy. Man, you don't actually sign to Diddy. His name is on a dotted line, but you actually sign it to Janice Combs.
Did he ever tell you why that is, or do you understand?
Now that I'm older, I know exactly what it is. It's a paper trail, so nothing can come bite me. If you come for me, you ain't coming for me. I ain't got nothing. You going to my mama. Good luck with
One explanation offered for the strategic setup traces back to a catastrophic incident in December 1991. Diddy helped organize a charity basketball event at City College in New York, which spiraled into chaos when a massive crowd surge resulted in the deaths of 9 individuals. A wave of lawsuits soon followed the tragedy, and it is believed that the experience taught Diddy a harsh lesson about the importance of shielding personal assets from his own name to provide future protection against similar legal repercussions.
In the 2000s and 2010s, Diddy was really prospering, music, business, fashion. And one of the things that he had said, what he alleged in the documentary, and again, this is an allegation from him, was that the name Bad Boy Entertainment, Combs's name was not really involved in that on the corporate side. And one of the things he's saying is the reason for that was to avoid having to pay any liability from, the devastating basketball game that had happened in the early 90s, where he was the subject of wrongful death lawsuits because of the multiple deaths that had occurred as a result of that basketball game that Diddy was behind organizing. So that was really, surprising to hear.
Yeah, that was a big allegation, because the families of the victims killed in that stampede, it was horrible. We're talking about December 28th, 1991. Combs, fellow rapper Heavy D, they hosted this charity basketball game. The game took place at the gymnasium of the City College of New York. And according to the New York Daily News, before the basketball game started, people who weren't let inside, they broke a window, swarmed toward the entrance of the gym, all went down a staircase. The doors at the bottom of those stairs opened towards the stairs, not towards the gym. So once a crowd got down there, they couldn't get the doors open and people started being crushed. 9 people died. Dozens of others were injured. And there were no criminal charges that were ever filed against anyone for the stampede, but multiple families and injured victims, they filed lawsuits.
Gene Deal, who says he was present at the ill-fated event, has stated his firm belief that Diddy disregarded critical safety issues. He accuses Diddy of failing to arrange sufficient security personnel and brushing aside repeated warnings about the risks. In Deal's view, Diddy bears significant responsibility for the deadly outcome that day.
I was at City College. You understand? I was there. I was doing security. My team was supposed to have the outside. Puff came to me the day before we were supposed to do the job there and told me that Heavy D didn't want us to do the security outside. I had 18 men ready to do the security outside with my dogs like I always do. People knew how we used to roll. We would have the pits, the Rockwilders, you understand? We had that outside locked up. So anybody try to bum rush, anybody do that, we had the gates, the whole 9 yards. So we could stop all that. You know how people gonna get down in Harlem. You understand? So, and then when you got LL Cool J, you got Mike Tyson coming through there, and they coming through the front door so people see them. So they gonna go crazy. LL was the hottest thing out at that time. Mike Tyson was the hottest thing out at that time. They got all kinds of stars and people in there already. They was coming through the back. They came through the front. And it caused the door to be bum rushed. But if they had the gates up, if they had the dogs, and with the help of the police, that shit would have never happened, bro. That shit would have never happened. I was there. I saw it. I saw Jessica run down the steps after she grabbed the money box because my man Eddie was protecting her. And Eddie's the one called me on the walkie-talkie and said, yo, Jessica just locked me in outside the gym, Gene. You couldn't go down the steps after they bum rushed the door. You understand? I had to run around the whole gym on the outside, around the gym, down the steps, run across the basketball court, and open the front door. When I opened that one door, because it pushed inside, people start squeezing through that. Then I just kept doing the doors, and people was coming in there, falling dead, right out, just falling out right there. And once they got in there, they just fell out. It was crazy, bro. He just wanted us to do inside the gym to make sure that nobody, be over the celebrities like that. That's what he wanted my team to do. But most of the celebrities gonna have their own security anyway. You know what I'm saying? That was just a way to cut our security off anyway. So he cut the security and he got the FOIs, and the FOIs left their post, and that's how the people bum rushed the door, and 9 people died by going down those corridors.
and you blame Diddy for that.
Yeah, I do. It's his fault.
The public has expressed widespread shock and dismay over the alleged nature of the relationship between Diddy and his mother. Adding to the discomfort are the broader accusations regarding Diddy's conduct toward other individuals, including troubling patterns that reportedly extended into his own family circle.
And again, I know the freak offs that his son is there. Like, it seems like he likes to get down with his kids.
Yeah. But that wasn't all. Just to hear Little Rod say, like, the boys were around. Roger Bonds talked about the children as well. What kind of parenting relationship is that? But then again, that goes back to the conversation of Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's daughter. It was all known that she was spotted in them streets with Justin, and then she was spotted in them streets with Diddy, and they all tried to sit there and pretend like that wasn't what it was. Like, I don't know if anybody has not noticed, but ever since Diddy got pinched, they've all been trying to pretend like all of the stuff that we've seen that happened, that they was all involved and didn't happen.
In a sudden development, attorneys representing Sean Diddy Combs have launched efforts to block the premiere of a Netflix documentary series scheduled for release today.
We have to find somebody that'll work with us that has dealt in the dirtiest of dirty business.
The content in question features previously unseen recordings of Combs engaging in discussions about legal tactics with his defense team in the tense days immediately preceding his arrest in New York last year.
I am going to let you professionals look at the situation and come back to me with a solution.
Additional clips show Combs warmly interacting with supporters and admirers during a visit to Harlem.
I'll accept it.
Shortly afterward, he is heard making remarks reflecting on that particular encounter.
I need some hand sanitizer. Hold on. I got it. I've been out in the streets amongst the people. Yeah, I gotta take a bath. Like the amount of people that actually I'm coming in contact with, like that's what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like 150 hugs.
Combs' legal representatives are now formally demanding that Netflix withdraw the entire series, warning of impending litigation. They argue that the platform has incorporated unauthorized material that was never approved for public distribution, labeling the project as a disgraceful attempt at character assassination. The series carries executive production credits from Combs' longtime adversary Curtis 50 Cent Jackson, along with director Alex Stapleton. In response, Stapleton and Jackson have publicly affirmed, "We obtained the footage legally and have the necessary rights." Prior to the formal cease and desist notice being delivered yesterday, Stapleton and Jackson participated in an interview with Robin Roberts to discuss the making of the series.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
It's not personal.
The show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. Not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this.
Meanwhile, the Zeus Network is preparing to launch yet another documentary centered on Diddy, this one approaching the story from the viewpoint of Diddy himself along with his sons. Many assumed the intense focus on Diddy would fade away as 2025 came to a close. Surprisingly, this new project is slated for 2026. A significant portion of the audience, including myself, is already voicing discomfort and disapproval about this forthcoming documentary being told through the lens of Diddy's sons. There's considerable surprise and frustration directed at Zeus Network owner Lemuel Plummer for moving forward with it. However, many seem to overlook the long-standing friendship that has existed between Plummer and Diddy for years.
Zeus Network has a new Diddy documentary coming out, and this time it is coming from the perspective of Diddy and his sons. All the time I thought we were about to leave Diddy in 2025. Well, this documentary is coming in 2026. And a lot of people, just like myself, are already not feeling this new documentary coming from Diddy's sons. A lot of people aren't happy about it and actually shocked that the owner of Zeus Network, Lemmy, is doing this Diddy documentary. But what a lot of people fail to forget is Lemmy and Diddy have been friends for quite some time.
Of his children arriving in court for day one of their father's trial in New York. hands gripped in solidarity.
Do you still believe your dad's innocent? How did you feel hearing that testimony yesterday? Do you apologize on behalf of your father? Do you believe your father's innocent? Do you still convince your father's innocent? Your daddy got 4 years! Your daddy got 4 years for abusing women! That's wrong! You can get more!
The family, the foes, the joy, the pain, our voice, the loyalty, the betrayal, the pride, the love, the hate, the truth, the lies. And Diddy calling
Hello.
from Fort Dix.
This is a prepaid collect call from Federal Correctional Institution, Fort Dix.
When they released this trailer last night, there were so many comments to Lemmy and Zeus Network that they did not want to see this. A lot of people feel like this whole new documentary is just a PR narrative once again being pushed by Diddy and his sons to try to clean up his image. And after hearing certain things on 50 Cent's Netflix documentary, we have to go back in time and remember what we were seeing during trial. Even when it came to Diddy's sons, Christian and Justin Combs, they both came on 2 separate occasions to trial wearing a free Sean Combs shirt. The first one to do this was Christian Combs during Jane's testimony, and you're not supposed to wear this stuff in front of a jury to try to sway their opinions. And the judge actually told him he had to leave and take it off. And then literally like a week later, Justin did the same exact thing. It was taken out of the courtroom by the judge. And we already saw the videos in the Netflix doc of Diddy talking to Justin saying he needed to push out certain content to control a narrative. During the trial, there were a lot of things going on that I could see that to me felt like it was just straight PR. Do you remember all of these people that were wearing the free Diddy shirts? And it was actually a meme coin that's on their shirt. It's money sign Diddy.
Rather than attempting to halt the release of opposing documentaries, Diddy is said to have countered by putting out his own independent content asserting his innocence. Observers and critics have pointed out that this approach feels somewhat illogical, particularly when weighed against the large volume of existing publicly available video evidence tied to Cassie and other matters.
Hitting the blogs and being on the timeline yesterday that Diddy's sons, Sean and Justin, will be dropping a docuseries of their own to tell their side of the story, their experiences, and how they view things on the Zeus Network. With 50 Cent put it up on his Instagram page, and he promoted the trailer when you look at it from the other side of it on the marketing side, but he knows it plays back into the doc that he just dropped as well with the reckoning. He put it up and said, wow, I want to see this show. I'm not sure this was a good idea. And he tagged at 50 Cent Action, letting it be known that this is really promoing itself.
50 Cent has been very vocal in his public response to the upcoming project and has actively helped promote it. He seems extremely assured about the revelations that are forthcoming. In interviews, he has emphasized that Janice Combs is no longer merely a peripheral character. She has now been elevated to the heart of the entire narrative. Regardless of whether individuals choose to accept the accusations as factual, one undeniable reality stands out. This family appears determined to prevent the public from accessing the information that is about to surface. Stay subscribed and tuned in, because when Season 2 finally arrives, it has the potential to dramatically reshape the entire conversation surrounding this saga.